The following is a timeline of events, presented with timestamps for clarity. Timestamp 05. A report is filed with the Inspector General of the Australian Defence Force. Timestamp 0.15. Following the Ben Roberts-Smith defamation trial, analysis concludes that testimony from 2 whistleblowers was based on hearsay. Timestamp 000.28. Court transcripts reveal contact between Ben Roberts-Smith and Sean Diddums, sister of the late SAS Sergeant Blaine Diddums. Timestamp 0040. A statement from a mutual acquaintance, Ray Carson, is noted. Carson had previously stated he had to go to Africa to get his kills up to become a professional mercenary. Timestamp 0.055. Contact is re-established with Sean Diddums. In subsequent conversations, she makes several key statements. Timestamp 0.110. Regarding Corporal Oliver Schultz, Diddums states, "My brother did actually give CPL Oliver Schultz an order to shoot the Afghan man in the grass." Timestamp 01.25. Regarding the allegations against Ben Roberts-Smith, Diddums states, "There was no actual real evidence of Ben Roberts-Smith committing alleged WWOR crimes." Timestamp 0140. Contradicting media reports of a cliff incident, Diddums states, "Ben could not have pushed the Afghan man over the cliff because the Afghan man was actually laying face down on the ground with his hands tied behind his back." Timestamp 0155. Concluding her point, Diddums states, "So there is no way he could have been looking directly into Ben's eyes. They told me to be silent, to let the truth be buried. But a conscience doesn't come with a mute button. When I chose to speak, the world I knew chose to turn its back. A campaign of lies was launched to discredit me, painting me as a monster. Friends vanished, replaced by a chorus of digital hate. I was isolated, tracked, and hunted. In that crushing loneliness, I had a choice: to break or to discover a strength I never knew I had. This is where the real journey begins. Not of a victim, but of a survivor. Inner strength isn't about the absence of fear. It's about looking fear in the eye and saying, 'You will not define me.' My loyal dog, Sharka, was my constant shadow, a living symbol of the fierce loyalty they tried to extinguish in others. He was my first ally. Then, slowly, others emerged from the shadows. Not the friends I had lost, but new faces, drawn together not by convenience, but by a shared belief in justice. A young activist who had faced her own battles, an elderly veteran who knew the cost of silence, a journalist who refused to let the story die. Our diversity became our strength. We were a mosaic of resilience, each piece a different story, a different struggle, coming together to form an unbreakable whole. The threats didn't stop, they escalated. But I no longer stood alone. We faced the storm together. This battle wasn't just mine anymore. It was for everyone who has ever been silenced, bullied, or broken. It's a testament that from the ashes of adversity, you can rise, not just stronger, but with a new family, forged in fire and dedicated to the light. Your voice matters. Your strength is within you. And you are never truly alone. A close friend's associate launched a vicious smear campaign against me on social media, spreading horrific, false accusations. He claimed the police were investigating, and just like that, I was cut off from everyone I knew. He didn't stop there. He planted trackers on my car, sending me my own location to taunt me. The police, being his friends, threatened me when I tried to report it. The threats escalated to voicemails promising my death, followed by 3 actual attempts on my life. I was shot at with a rifle, and later attacked by a man with an iron bar. My dog, Sharka, saved me. I tracked the attacker and called the authorities. Then I was shot at again. Through all this, I discovered how my friend knew the truth about alleged war crimes involving decorated soldiers. An official from the Inspector General's office had shown a secret report to the father of a deceased soldier, a personal favor, facilitated by a high-ranking official to clear his son's name. This is the only possible way Sean could have known what she told me in regards to the truth behind Ben Roberts-Smith and Oliver Schultz's alleged war crimes. I am aware that Sean has also told some former SAS. This is so serious because it would mean that Nick McKenzie committed perjury in court during the Ben Robert Smith trial. As for the members of the SS that were questioned on the stand, they are innocent of any wrongdoing because they may have only been questioned in a specific way that could cast a shadow of possibility regards any war crimes allegations. On the 28th November 2023, Sean Diddums wrote an email to a Sergeant Matthew Hurley from the Victoria Police Force. Sean made false allegations to a Victorian police officer that I had been stalking, harassing her, making false claims Invictus athletes and other aliases trying to befriend her, and that I had been calling her a war criminal. Sean states in her email that she blocked all contact with me by August. However, I have saved screenshots from the Signal app from a very long conversation with Sean. Sean told me so much personal and sensitive information, 2023. Respectfully, when Sean asked me to delete all the messages, I did. However, I took screenshots from the Signal app as proof this conversation did happen. The last text message I sent Sean was on Friday 24th November 11th, 50 p.m. So it was only 4 days later Sean wrote an untruthful report email to Sergeant Matthew Hurley, Victoria Police. On the 1/12/2023, I attended the Wonthaggi Police Station in Victoria to let the police hear some disturbing death threat voicemail sounding like someone sharpening a knife against a sharpening stone. When I was calmly trying to give a statement in the interview room, about 3 or 4 detectives and forensic care entered the room. I was immediately arrested under the mental health order, and an ambulance took me to the Latrobe Hospital emergency. Then I was placed for 2 weeks in the high-security mental ward. I was forced to have an injection administered into my stomach, which practically turned me into a zombie. After 2 weeks, the mental health order was revoked, and I immediately took an Uber from Traralgon to Melbourne, my sister's house. On Christmas night, I was rushed to the Epworth Hospital as I was suffering serious side effects from whatever they injected in my stomach. I spent Christmas night in the emergency ward of the Epworth Hospital. I have since been seeing my treating psychiatrist on a regular basis, and I am taking his prescribed medication, olanzapine, and zopiclone for sleeping, and diazepam, as I am totally anxious, on edge, always super vigilant, unable to sleep, due to the constant death threats received left on my OK. My doctor and psychiatrist have both witnessed and listened to these. I am too apprehensive to visit a police station in fear of being sent back to a mental hospital. I live an internet lifestyle, no fixed address, constantly in fear of being murdered for what I have disclosed. I will make a video showing all my corroborating evidence. To whoever is involved in this, destroying my life and integrity, I'm sending this message to the world.